Hi, my name is Bronwyn DeMazzo. My maiden name was Price, and both my mother and my grandmother were members of this DAR chapter. Nancy Price was my mother, and my grandmother was Alice Wilson. So when Karen reached out to me saying we were having a Veterans Day ceremony and I know any vets that might be willing to speak, I said, well, I do know some Gold Star parents and fellow Gold Star family members who would like to speak. My brother was Commander Job Price. He was from Pottstown. He went to Pottstown High School, then graduated, went to the Air Force Academy, and ended up cross-commissioning after that and became a Navy SEAL. He also was an Army Ranger, which is a little bit unusual. Not a lot of people are both Navy SEALs and Army Rangers. So Job was fortunate he got to serve in the Air Force and as well as the Navy and the Army. But Job died in Afghanistan on December 22nd of 2012. And since Job's death, I've had the privilege of being able to get involved in a lot of different organizations in our community that support fellow Gold Stars. And I know you all know, because you're very patriotic, what a Gold Star family member is, but that's someone who, be it a brother, parent, or sibling who lost their loved one to the current war. So today I would like to introduce a good friend of mine whose son was killed in the Extortion 17 incident. His name is Charles Strange, and he is a Gold Star father from Philadelphia, and he has a wonderful foundation that helps Gold Stars. He does retreats, and he helps hundreds of Gold Star families with their grief. He's supportive of them on so many levels, just in his personal life, being available and reaching out to anybody who needs a friend. Like, he is that person, and he honors his son every day by telling his story. And I hope you all get a chance to read his book. He wrote a book. He has some copies of it here today. He's a wonderful man, and I'm proud to introduce Charles Strange.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Charles Strange. I'm the Gold Star father of Petty Officer First Class Michael Strange, killed in action August 6, 2011, along with 29 other brave Americans, and Bart the Warrior Dog. It was the biggest loss of life in a single day in the Iraq and Afghan war. It was the biggest loss of life in the history of America. 22 of them men were from Navy Special Warfare Dev Group. We're from Philadelphia. Michael went to North Catholic. Growing up, he played a little bit of sports, but he mainly focused on friends, family, and working out and girls. And, he worked at Burnsy's Bar, Richmond and Westmoreland, in high school, and senior year he played rugby. I tried to get him to play sports, softball, all through high school. I played football, basketball, Carmel Doherty High School, and all that. Senior year he plays rugby. He said, I should have listened to you the whole time, Dad. I love it, Then senior year he said he joined the military. I said, you're not joining the military. There's a war going on. What are you, crazy? And he turned 18, he said, I joined the Navy. I said, all right. I gave him that boy, do 4 years, get out, Michael, and flew out to Chicago, see him at Great Lakes, graduate boot camp, and they sent him to Pensacola, Florida. And he was in extreme, really good shape. The military put him in another whole different level of shape. But while he's in Pensacola, Florida, he's in this classroom. There's no blackboards, no books, no writing, no notes. And you do a two-week class, and then you take a test. And the military said, whoever finishes first from the test, you get to choose to go wherever you want to go. Michael calls me up. He says, Dad, they lied to me. I said, what happened? And I'm thinking in my head, the freaking military, you know what I mean, right? I told you not to join, but I didn't say that. He said, I finished first in this test, and they told me I could go wherever I wanted. He wanted to go to Virginia so he could come home on the weekends and see the family and all. I said, well, where are they sending you, Mike? He said, Hawaii. I said, Michael, you're going to Hawaii, man. And second day, he called me up. He said, Dad, God made paradise, and it's right here in Hawaii. And you can see pictures of him over there with the surfboard and all that. So we knew Michael was smart. We knew Michael was very smart in school, and he really took off and with cryptology, code breaking. I think we stole that off the Germans, right? And he became an E6 in less than 4 years, which is like unheard of. He did some unbelievable missions. 21 years old. The Navy SEALs were picking him up his house, and he said, Dad, we're running up these steps, down these steps, up these steps, down these steps, then out in the ocean, then through an obstacle course. And he goes, finally, the guy's phone rang. He said, all right, you can take a break. And they're doing this. And then they took him into a gym, and he walked into this gym, and everybody was wearing black, he says. I said, what were you wearing? He said, blue. I said, oh, you're the target, right? And they were listening to headbanging music, and they were doing jiu-jitsu and lifting weights and all the SEALs, and they surrounded around him, and they asked him to join Dev Group, which is SEAL Team 6, the Gold Squadron in Virginia Beach. He's 21. I said, Mike, he said 4 years and out. He's like, yeah, Dad, I talked to him. I don't have to do 30 years, 20 years, I can do 12. I'm like, ah. So he re-enlisted. 21 years old, he bought a home in Virginia Beach, a $300,000 home. I said, Michael, are you stealing money from over there? You're not giving Dad none, you know? But he got a nice bonus for signing on, and he bought a beautiful home. We traveled back and forth, and he was part of SEAL Team 6, and April 2011, he calls me. He says, Dad, you're not going to hear from me for 2 weeks. Everything's getting shut down. And my son was, when we would go out to eat, his favorite place was P.F. Chang's. You know, as a father, you know, you're worried, no matter how older they are, you know, or as a parent, right? And I would ask him questions, and I'm asking him these questions at P.F. Chang's. And he said, Dad, you know who's sitting next to us? And I look over, I said, it's a husband and wife. He said, that's what you think. I said, oh man, Michael. So we made up a code when we would talk on the phone, and the code was, are the Phillies winning? It could be January, December. That means Dad stopped asking me questions, because they were giving a lie detector test every 3 months. And the first question they asked him was, when was the last time he lied? It's a loaded question. So he calls me April 2011. I'm asking him questions. He says, does the Phillies win? I'm like, I said, you okay? You okay? What do you mean? I'm not going to hear from you for 2 weeks. He said, well, if something happens, you'll hear about it. And of course, May 2nd, 2011, they kill Osama bin Laden, right? And he comes home after the bin Laden raid. June 6th is his birthday. He turned 25. His birthday, 6/6/86. When I would tuck him in when he was little, him and his brothers and sister tuck him in, teach him about prayer and God, and they went to Catholic school. And Michael would open the door and go, 666! And he was always a wise guy, you know. And he comes home after the bin Laden raid. We have a big party, pool, a couple kegs of beer. Had to be like 100 kids there and his friends. But he grabbed me by the arm and he said, Dad, you wouldn't believe what's going on in this country. I said, what's the matter? And he started pacing. And he said, Dad, I got a will. I said, you got a will? Why are you talking about a will? He never talked about a will. Every mission they go on, they sign for a will. They always do. It's just the way the military works. But he told everybody. He told his mother, his brother, his sister, his best friend, Kevin, Danny, at the party. And he kept talking. I said, what's going on? And he left early that weekend. He never left early. And he's on my phone, and I don't know if that's weird or not. Keep your son's voice, but it's on a recording too. But I called me and said, "Yo, Dad, I love you. I'll see you for Thanksgiving down there at Maggie's, my sister's house. There's some fish down. And that's when we always celebrate Thanksgiving." And that was the last I heard of my son. And the next thing I had was a knock on the door. And, there was two guys from the military, and they told us that our son died, and he just, the most unbearable scream you ever heard. Like, you gotta be kidding me. And press came, and TV stations, and our family and friends, and you're just out of your mind, you know. You're like, you're just sitting here, you know. And then we had the viewing at the cathedral in Philadelphia, and I don't know, a lot of people, probably like 2,000 people came, very honored, people I didn't even know, you know, from being in the newspapers, and we buried them in Arlington. 18 of the 30 men are buried in Arlington, and it's brutal. It's brutal, and I was ready to go to the hat factory, if you know what I mean. Like, you're like, you gotta be kidding. And November 2011, 2 months after it happened, October 2011, they bring us down to Virginia Beach to dam net. All 60 parents, and we're in like a movie theater, and General Colt did the investigation in 2 weeks. And because when it happened, you know, people heard it was the helicopter went into a mountain. It was a rescue mission for the Rangers, which was all over the world. I mean, there are other countries because of the 30 men dying. And so you heard all kinds, you know, just to turn that knife in your heart a little more. So October 2011, we're in this theater. Jeffrey Colt, General Jeffrey Colt does the investigation in 2 weeks. And he was talking about the pilots, and for like a half hour about the pilots and how they were, you know, okay to fly in Afghanistan. And I found out, God bless, you know, I met them parents, I know them parents. And the one pilot did fly in Iraq, the other pilot never flew in Afghanistan, which is a whole different animal than Iraq. And there was a lot of questions. I asked, I said, what happened to the black box, which was really orange? And General Colt went, a flash flood came and washed it away. I said, a flash flood came and washed the black, they can find that black box in the bottom of the ocean, right? So something's wrong. And a couple other parents asked, why didn't you shoot them? There was a C-130 up above. A C-130, you could shoot somebody from California from here, right? A girl named Joni Marquez was in there, who I've talked to many a times. And she asked to open up fire 6 times, and she got shut down because of the rules of engagement. That poor girl, to watch 30 men die. So October, when we were leaving, they gave us a folder, and there's some pages, and there was a disc in the folder. You don't look at it, you're out of your mind. I get home, and like 2 days later, I open it up, and you can read the first page, you can read the second page. The rest of the pages, there's no ink, there's no toner. You can't read nothing. It's not blackened out, and there's a disc in there. But I call up Admiral Sean Pybus, commander of CENTCOM. I said, Sean, I got a bad copy here. I said, I can't read it. He said, Charlie, we got a lot of complaints about that. I said, all right, send me another one. He said, I can't, we burned it. I said, you burned it? So you put the disc in and all these little blocks pop up. Boom, 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 click. As you can tell, I was a construction worker, I'm not a computer guy. My wife, after about 8 hours and 3 Red Bulls, figures out, click, 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 1,364 pages come out about what happened to my son and the men. But the disk was encrypted with a virus. And We don't have a camera on the top of our computer, and they took her picture. I'm in the bedroom, I hear my wife yelling, I come running down. She goes, they took my picture, they took my picture. I said, I'm looking at the computer, I said, how'd you get a picture up there? She goes, they took my picture. It said FBI, 10 to 12 years. And it was on channel 3, 6, and 10 here in Philadelphia. We got contacted by a lawyer. We went to Washington, D.C. against the NSA and the Obama administration. And President Obama talked about us on television, about the Gold Star family being spied on by the NSA. We're going to look into that. Edward Snowden's lawyer was there. And the judge was called Judge Leon. He had a bow tie, Judge Leon. The NSA comes in with 14 lawyers. And they said, Mr. Strange's son's an American hero. He's a Gold Star father. His son did remarkable things to save American lives. We would not spy on the American people. My lawyer stands up and he picks up the Washington Post and says, Your Honor, this is from 6 days ago. It says, NSA fires 14 employees for spying on their spouses. No. Judge Leon smashes down the gavel. He looks at the NSA. He says, the lawyers, he goes, spy one time, you saved American lives by spying on them. And then it was like something out of a show. They all started opening up all these books, and the judge makes them sweat a little bit. And about 5 minutes, he goes, well, and Mr. Gilligan, he was the lawyer for the NSA. He says, we don't have nothing. And so we go to the second highest court in the country, 3 judges, Washington, D.C. And we showed the proof. I was also getting on my phone 001 and 000 text messages. And I'm like, and I'm text back and nothing will come back. And I call up Verizon. I said, I keep getting these text messages. What's this from? And he said, you don't know who that is? I said, no. He said, that's Big Brother. Watch me. Oh, click. He hung up. And for asking questions about what happened to my son in them 1,364 pages. And we were threatened at the NSA. The NSA actually gave my son National Intelligence Medal of Valor. Only 17 of them have been given out in the history of America since the Wind Talkers and WW2. And after we get the medal, it was very beautiful. Admiral Alexander, Clapper, da-da-da-da-da. And we're in the parking lot, and the guy walks up to us and he says, Mr. Strange, everything you get on your phone, I could be across the street, I get on my phone. Every text message you get, I get right here on my phone. I said, well, you're going to get this. You're going to get a punch in the face. I'm going to knock your effing teeth out. So he walked away. I said, don't forget we're from Philadelphia. We shoot back, you know what I mean? They didn't know what to think of us. And the other parents started coming in. 2013, we had the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. We had both sides of the aisle, Allen West, General Boykin, General Valet, 24 of the Gold Star families. I want a congressional hearing. For me, I believe somebody needs to be held accountable. For General Colt, what he told us in that movie theater with his investigation, he said it was a lucky shot. I stood up. I used the F word about 10 times. I said, how could you say something like that? And see, I can look back now and see what they were doing. It's called a psyops, mess with your head. Because then they would have things for us in the convention center and some other things in Manhattan with movie stars. Don't look what happened, look what we're doing for you. I said, no, 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 no. So when we'd be at a hotel with the other Gold Star families, when they would come to pick us up at the bus, 4 guys would say to me and my wife, no, no, Mr. and Mrs. Strange, you come with us. And they would put us in a black SUV. And I tell one of the other Gold Stars, get the license plate. My wife said, they don't even have a license plate. These guys don't even have fingerprints. And so we went on, and still to this day, I ask questions. I'm involved with a few other big things about what happened in Afghanistan 20 years. 20 years in Afghanistan, right? supposed to build the schools, supposed to put in highways, supposed to put in a water system for them people. What they do to the women and the children over there. And them contractors, with your tax dollars, were there for 20 years, making billions of dollars. And some of the contractors actually just came to us and some lawyers from Kellogg and Hanson law firm from Washington, D.C. Some ex-CIA and da-da-da-da-da. Called out, reached to me and my wife and family, some other Gold Stars. They have letters and transcripts and checks that them 20 contractors that were there for 10 contractors that were there for 20 years, giving money and guns to the Taliban that were fighting our sons and daughters, husbands and wives. The one contractor, cement contractor, says we have $300 million cash. Make sure the payments are still the same for the Taliban every month. And if they need more guns and ammo, just give it to them. So we just did a television show about that. It'll be coming out in like the next month. But through all this, you know, I might, you know, for me, what do I think would happen to my son? Right? That's the question, right? Were they set up? They were definitely set up. Taliban was bragging a half hour after they killed my son on the internet. We just killed SEAL Team 6. How'd you know that 100 Taliban planned to come through the blank Providence to the Tangine Valley, where my son got killed, to possibly shoot down the coalition aircraft? They knew. I wasn't in the military, but when I read that, I'm like, they knew. IEDs are in, who called it? Who sent them there? Why? I think maybe my son and them, some of the guys are going to talk about the contractors. All the drugs come from Afghanistan, right? We never got so much morphine. We don't have that many people in America. If you look before we went into Afghanistan, and how much morphine, heroin we got from Afghanistan, it was like 22%. We go into Afghanistan, you can Google this, we get 97% of the poppy. We don't have that many people on morphine. Where's it all going? How did 100,000 people died from drugs last year? Just drugs, right? But for me, I think they were going to talk about some of the things, because the one guy left the will in the freezer. Another guy from Michigan, SEAL Team 6, he used to say, yo, Dad, make sure you got a case of beer, make sure you got the steaks. I'll see you in 3 months. This time he went up to his dad. I love you. Thank you for the way you raised me. I gave him a kiss. Another one, Chief Nick Nolan. He had his whole family come down, and his grandparents come down, say goodbye. They knew something was going on. For me, I want somebody held accountable. For me, a construction worker, you tap my phone, go on my computer for asking questions. I go to the Pentagon, right? They said, you can go to the Pentagon, Mr. Strange. Just you and your wife. You can't bring no lawyers, no other Gold Stars. We go to the Pentagon. Pick you up machine guns at the Pentagon in the parking lot, take you in. Guy by the name of Gary Reed's there, and 3 other 3-star admirals and generals were in the room with me. And I'm asking him my questions. And he said, Mr. Strange, don't believe everything you see on YouTube. Don't believe what you read on the internet. I said, no. And he's talking over me. I said, what? I pull out Exhibit 89. I said, And they're looking at me, and they go, oh my God. I pull out the other exhibit about the 6 IEDs around the landing site. I said, you didn't read the report? They said, we read the 25-page report. I said, you didn't read the 1,364 pages? They said, no. So I tried to grab him by the throat over the table, and then the guy with the machine guns grabbed me. Oh. Took me outside. Calm down, calm down. So through all this, you know, I know my son's with Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. I truly believe in John 15:13, right? I believe in Psalm 23 that he walked up to the table. He's in a way better place than what we have going on now in the world. But through all that, like, and the questions and everything, I I was like, I went to 3 therapists. I was like, man, I'm crying. They were all good people, the therapists. The one lady started crying when we were sharing tissues, talking about my son. My son was alive for 15 minutes with the helicopter. It was like this. They told us they were all burned to death. My son wasn't burned at all. I got the autopsy from Dover. Just really, it's really brutal. And so I'm going to get help, and I see these therapists. The one lady was really good, and but I called up another Gold Star father from Bryn Athyn, a guy by the name of Grant Smith. He lost his son like 4 years prior. I said, can I meet you? Can I buy you coffee? He said, sure. So I meet him for the coffee, and we talked for like an hour and a half. He's crying, I'm crying, we're laughing. But something happened while I was talking to him, and I went home to my wife and I said, I feel better talking to him. I think we should bring more Gold Star families in. And we had a little fundraiser. Our first workshop, Michael Strange Foundation, was in Malvern Retreat House. Our second one was in Wildwood at the Bolero, 3 nights and 4 days. And we have Rob O'Neill, Jocko, Drago, some of them guys come in, we'll do a dinner, or they started a fishing tournament for us to raise money. We're a 501c3. And the word started we did one in Tucson. We've done one in Longmont, Colorado, Washington, D.C. President Trump had me in the White House 3 times. We've done them in Ocean City, Maryland. We've done 15 workshops. We brought over 400 Gold Star moms, dads, brothers, and sisters, and we pay for everything. I believe that a Gold Star family should never have to pay for anything. You know, no taxes, no nothing. Like some of the other countries, you lose a loved one, your house is paid off. You don't pay taxes no more. It helps me. We bring paid grief counseling. We open up the Bible. We bring a preacher. During that week in April, we did one in April in Ben Sound. We had 28 Gold Stars from California, Iowa, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Maine, Pottstown, and Delaware, Jersey, of course. 28. They came Wednesday, so we took them to Joe Santucci's Pizza. Some of the parents said, we only got Pizza Hut and Domino's where we live, so we gave them a real good time pizza. Thursday, this one was a big one, 5 nights, 6 days, all expenses paid. Thursday, we took them to the Phillies. We had 2 club box suites behind home plate, 1 o'clock game. We won that one. And we learned to laugh again. And then after the game, we went to Nicky Luke's, Tony and Nicky Luke's in South Philly. If you ever go there, front in Oregon, there's 2 big glass cases, probably 8 foot by 4 foot. We have the parents hang up a picture of their sons and daughters or brother and write a little something about them so they ain't never forgotten. We have 2 glass cases there. And we got them all Philly cheesesteak. Friday, we went out to lunch to Mission Barbecue at Red Lion Boulevard, which the pictures are almost done. I was there yesterday and hung up more pictures of our loved ones so they ain't forgotten. Friday night, we start the work, the grief counselor, the prayer, color guard come in. My wife gives a little folder out with some poems and some loose leaf. And we ask all the parents to write a letter to their sons or daughters or brothers or sisters to read to the group. Saturday morning breakfast, and the grief counselor says a few words, I say a few words, and the parents come up and sit, and we have an honor and memory table. Everybody has to bring a picture. We hold up a picture of their loved ones, and the parents read the letter to their son. Maybe they forgot to tell them something. Maybe they want to tell something about them. We had Bob Huff come from Arizona. His daughter was Samantha Huff, first girl killed in Iraq, 18 years old. 18 years old. He rode over an IED, blew both her legs off. He came out and got her, but they couldn't get back. I said, why couldn't they get back? Because they followed GPS back, and they put car bombs in front of them. So then they got to turn this way, and then people are shooting at them, and then they put another car bomb in front of them. Then they got to turn that way. Mr. Bob Huff came to 2 of our workshops. So Saturday, the parents all read their letters. We take a lunch break. more cheesesteaks and hoagies, just saying. And that was a joke. And Saturday night, we have the motorcycles, the police come, we get in the cars, there's a VFW post named after my son on Newtown Road, and we stop and we let go and let God. We let go of the balloons, put our sons and daughters' names, brothers' names on it, let go, let God, and we go to the VFW. And this year we had a live band, music, food, and while we were there, my phone kept ringing. I don't answer the phone. You know, we have like 160 people there, and I answer it, and it's a police detective, and he was with 2 Congressional Medal of Honor winners at a black tie affair in Center City, Philadelphia, but he heard about the Gold Stars, and they wanted to come. And within like a half hour, the 2 Congressional Medal of Honor winners came, Barney Brum, the Marine, and Mr. Thacker from the Army. And they came, and I got the microphone off the band, and everybody could come right up, and I introduce them, and they say a few words for a couple minutes, and he says a few words a couple minutes, and gives me back the microphone, and I went, Gold Star, 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 Gold Star. Barney Brum, the Marine, says, oh my God, can I talk? I said, sure. He said, I write letters to you moms and dads. He said, I got nightmares. I still have bad dreams, but it's nothing compared to what you parents go through. And then all of a sudden, the band started playing. Proud to be an American, and everybody held out. People were crying, and it had to be, you know, our sons and daughters and God working through us. And then Saturday night, after that, we go wake up Sunday morning at the hotel. We do a little, give them each Gold Star a little gift, a little ceremony. We have volunteers taken back and forth to the airport. And, that's what we do with the Michael Strange Foundation. You can check us out on Facebook or LinkedIn or michaelstrangefoundation.org. And we got t-shirts over there, and it's really helpful. I know it's helped me. I know Barwin's helped my daughter Caitlin. We bring more siblings in if they're over 18. We bring in families. The first few years we did, the families that lost members to suicide. At first I was like, my son died in action, suicide. But then you think about it, they didn't sign up for the military thinking about killing themselves. It's when they came back. And we brought quite a few parents with the suicide rate is like 20 a day from what they've seen over there in the Middle East, you know. And so we that's what we do, and I think it helps a little bit. I know it helps me and my wife, and we already have a list of Gold Stars that want to come April, and it's all God. It's nothing I thought of, believe me. It's all God working through us to help others, just like Jesus Christ did when he came down here.
So is that when your next one is?
April we'll do another one. We did 2 this year. We did Memorial Day in Wildwood, small one, just 14 Gold Stars, 5 nights, 6 days in it. But that was nice. Went fishing, did some other things. VFW Post in Wildwood hosted us for dinner, and yeah. So, any questions?
Did you ever find out